Guys, I want to get into this topic as fast as possible because I only have so much time. I'm on my way to work. But I was just listening to this interview. This guy was interviewing Rachel Wilson, and she was talking about feminism and all that kind of stuff. And she's giving her take and all this kind of stuff. But I just kept overwhelmingly, this girl is basically saying, well, this lady, which I'm not disagreeing with her stances. However, I think that a lot of people want to believe that feminism is this evil, that it's this evil thing that's happening to society and it should be stopped, and XYZ. I've heard Myron Gaines say that that we need to repeal the 19th Amendment and women shouldn't be able to vote, XYZ. I've heard all this stuff, and what I'm coming to the realization of is that all these people are wrong. You guys are wrong. I don't think that feminism needs to be stopped, and I inherently don't think that feminism is a bad thing. I don't think anything is good or bad. I think things just are. And I think as things progress and we see what's wrong with things, we see where we go wrong with things, I think that people seek to be better. So, to a degree, I could say feminism is good, and to another degree, I could say feminism is bad. But I think the results of feminism are just going to lead to something else. And whatever that something else that it leads to, at some point, whenever it does, because the pendulum is going to shift, right? The pendulum is going to shift whenever something is too heavy on one end, it comes back down and the other end goes up, right? So, and I think we're living in a world right now where obviously women are becoming the most successful they've ever been. They're becoming the most independent they've ever been. They have the most opportunities that we've ever seen in a generation of women. And I think that we should seek, especially if you're a man, I think that you should seek out ways to benefit from that rather than finding ways to I want to say shit on women, but I'm trying to figure out ways to replace cuss words with better words. But instead of figuring out ways to bring down women, we need to figure out ways to benefit off of the opportunities that women are starting to get, especially if you're a man and you don't have much opportunity right now. You know what I'm saying? What happened to the days where I was just listening to this comedian where his wife, when they first got married, I forgot what she did, but she made more money than he did while he was still working on his comedy career. But when he got to the point to where he was making enough money to provide for them in their marriage, she stopped working and he's the main provider. Where's this ideology at when we're talking about feminism, we're talking about relationships, and we're talking about the nature of relationships in today's society? Why aren't we having the conversations about making a plan, right? Finding a man that is worthy of committing to a plan so that you guys achieve the plan together, right? I'm married. I've been married for 2 years now. It's only been 2 years. And in 2 years, I'm just now starting to figure out what my plan is and what I need to do to be able to provide for me and my wife's a stay-at-home mom. I make an average income and we're able to make it happen. And I feel like people want this unrealistic lifestyle, and you're not going to get an unrealistic lifestyle as a young person. And I think that I genuinely think people need to get up. If people genuinely wanted to seek out truth, if people genuinely wanted to have a thriving lifestyle, you would get off social media where you're seeing all this unrealistic lifestyles. You're seeing these people live lives that are extremely unrealistic, and then you're trying to mimic that when you don't have the skills to mimic it. And the skills that you need to mimic these lifestyles and become these influential people doesn't happen when you're constantly posting online and you're in the limelight. It happens in the characteristic and the character you're building in the dark. Because all things that are done in the dark are eventually going to come to light. I believe that we are meant, especially, well, I have a Christian worldview, so I believe that we're meant to be the salt of the earth. And a light that has already been lit and cannot be hidden. But the lifestyle you want isn't going to be built in public. It's built behind the scenes. And then once it becomes built behind the scenes, you're just bringing it forward. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in the darkness. It's not going to happen shaming people. It's not going to happen having these conversations about feminism and how it's destroying society. Well, it's good to have the conversation, but we have to figure out solutions to it. We have to figure out how we're going to benefit from something that's potentially degrading things. Nothing can grow backwards forever. At some point, it has to go forward. So yeah, feminism can be considered a bad thing for women and men, but how do you benefit from it? What's the solution? That's what we should be figuring out. And the simple solution isn't women going back to the kitchen. That's not the simple solution. The simple solution is figuring out a way to provide for yourselves, to provide for your family and relationship so that it works for you. Do what works for you. If that's your wife working and you know, the husband staying at home for a little bit until you see what I'm saying? Until you can re-up, do your thing, and then get to the position where you can both you guys, I don't know, everybody has a different situation. Everybody has something different that's gonna lead to them like being fulfilled. And it's like, I honestly don't even think everybody's supposed to have kids. I don't think that everybody should get married. But I think that if it's something that you're called to, pursue it. If it's something that you're not called to, don't worry about it. Because if it's somewhere in you, you're like, I don't want to have kids, don't have kids, because you probably won't be a good mother. If there's something in you that's saying, I don't want to be a father, don't have kids, because you're probably not going to be a good parent. Do what you're called to. And as you're being called to it, fulfill it. That's simple. We'll see y'all in the next video.